Hello everyone. Today I would like to in erasing the lesson 3, the triangle of the reality, the firm side 30 and speed terror. And now let's start speaking now. Lesson 3, the triangle of reality. The triangle of reality. The triangle of reality is extremely precious knowledge. Through this knowledge, we can materialize the non-material, informative, energy, and material anything. Even abstract concept invisible to the human eye can become tangible, allowing people to perceive and track them. At the same time, the triangle of reality helps us know how to receive and transfer reality simple. Person who know the triangle of reality no longer go to school, they go through reality, receive reality. If they count material, they reinform information to an energy, and if they have energy, reinforce information and material. So what is the application methods of the triangle of reality? Let's try out. One, introduction to the triangle of reality, and one among us, no matter where we live in the world, is influenced by three perspectives or views: the moral perspective, the religious belief perspective, and the scientific perspective. Whichever perspective a person leans toward more heavily, their mindset grows from according to that view. However, regardless of the perspective, they all greatly respect the formula of energy, information, and material. There are two of the many laws governing human life: the laws of cause and conditions, and the laws of cause and effect. If we saw a good course meet favorable condition, we will with the desired outcome. So what is the core here, and how do they serve a good course? In the section, we will explore the determined course of human life according to the moral perspective through the knowledge of the triangle of reality. Is help them answer the question according to the moral perspective: what creates the rules of our life? 2. Universal structure, information, energy, and material. Everything in the world has its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What information is contained within something determine that source of energy. We draw the triangle with three corners: information, energy, and material. And any entity in this world contains its own source of energy. It has its own internal information structure and has its own material manifestation. For example, gold and lead have different material manifestation. We look at them and sense the difference. When people measure their energy, the energy contained in gold is different from energy contained in lead. Studying further, people found that the internal information structure of gold is also different from the internal information structure of lead. Similarly, for humans, the material manifestation of the successful people is completely different from the material manifestation of a failed person. This proves that the energy contained within a successful person is completely different from the energy of a failed person. This is because they contain different information inside. Therefore, what the information a person contains inside will determine the source of energy and will determine that material manifestation. We can imagine in that way. Contain information represent energy, and energy represent the material. Everything in this world has its own specific information, specific energy, and specific material manifestation. What does it mean when we see a person manifesting something outwardly? When we see a person manifesting something outwardly, it's proof that contain a certain source of energy and a certain information inside for the manifest in that way. For example, when we observe an angry person, we see that their facial expressions and internal feelings are very different from those of a peaceful person. Analyzing deeper, the angry person's energy manifestation is different from the peaceful person's energy manifestation, and with both the internal information they contain is different. 3. The manifest is transformed into one another. If we consider the external manifestation of material to be this outcome, is the internal information the core, and is the source of energy the condition. The internal core manifests its information, and external energy is the condition. When enough energy begin to accumulate and condense, it creates the material which is the outcome, but usually we just want to change the outcome. Scientists have proved that all material can be transformed into another. We have successfully transformed it into gold, though it took many years or high cost by changing the internal information structure. When the anatomy changes, the external material change. People has transformed carbon into foods consent into meat and create artificial diamond, and they are potentially harder than natural diamond. We have achieved with the material when we adopt the same mindset of regarding. For example, a healthy person and a sick person, do we agree that health and sick both in manifestation of this outcome? We can proceed to change the internal information and the sick person to the information of the healthy person. Then a sick person and the big will change to the healthy person energy, and the material manifestation will become that of the healthy person. Or if you can change the deep state information within ourselves, we can change our life. What information is contained within us? Well, if we observe a computer and the information contained inside is the operating system and the software system, the code line in this operating system without its applications cannot be installed, and so what is the information contained within us checks, however, pointed out to us what we know, what we believe, and what we understand is the information contained within it. It is simple. When anything is mentioned, how we know about it is how we believe in it, and how we understand it. We represent the information within us. The information within us is what we know, what we believe, and what we understand. In other words, what we know, what we believe, and what we understand will determine our life reality. What does this statement sounds reasonable? For instance, regarding marriage, what we believe, understand, and know determines the reality of our marriage. If we examine our marriage reality from the moral perspective, it is simpler understood that what we know about marriage, what we believe about marriage, and how we understand marriage determine our marriage reality. Try using the triangle of reality to interpret a person's reality. When we see someone has a reality about something, we immediately know how they know about it, how they believe in it, and how they understand it. We do not need to study fortune telling. We just need a concept of the triangle of reality. But by interacting and talking, if they let us know how they know marriage in a certain way, how they believe in a marriage in a certain way, and how they understand marriage in a certain way, then we can predict marriage reality. So if someone currently has understood And an undesirable marriage reality is it because we know, believe, and understand an in unfavorable direction. 6. What is the sub-concept based on the triangle of reality? We can interpret everything in life, what we know, what we believe in, what we understand in the language of triangle of reality is called the sub-concept. What is the concept we hold in our mind will determine our reality and shape it in that direction. This means when that something is mentioned, the short concept we heard about it will represent our reality concerning that thing. A concept must include all three concerns: know, believe, understand, to be called a short concept. 6.1 short concept about peace and joy. For example, what is a person's short concept about peace and joy? In other words, how they know about peace and joy, how they believe in peace and joy, and how they understand peace and joy determines their reality of peace and joy. Who can contain many favorable short concepts within them will have a good reality based on a person's reality. We can trace back as follows. A person who currently have an undesirable reality means they are holding unfavorable stock concept. A person who has a good reality or reality in the desired direction means they are holding favorable stock concepts. Try 6.2, the third concept about finance. So, how do we change our reality about something? It's just, for example, whoever wants to change their finance to reality, that we change what we know about finance and what we believe about finance and what we understand about finance. In other words, we change the short concept about finance and we change the reality of finance for everyone. To change the health reality from this perspective, we need to change what we know about health, what we believe about health, and what we understand about health, and the health reality will change. In other words, we change our short concept about health and we change our health reality. In general, all of our life reality are determined by our thought concept. To change reality in a positive direction, we need to change our thought concept toward a favorable direction. To concepts to master. Therefore, the first three concepts we need to master completely are scientific perspective with the knowledge of the formula of the rules of life, religious or belief perspective with the knowledge of the structure of human being, and the moral perspective with the knowledge of the triangle of reality. 7. Frame of reference. The thought concept of the thought, those most foundational basics and primer thought concept is called the frame of reference. When the thought concept of the source is in a favorable directions is called the standard frame of reference. And from the standard frame of reference, we will be able to develop favorable thought concept. From there, we will change the information within us toward a more positive and more enlightened direction. The core within us, according to the moral perspective, is the short concept within us. And the good course within us, according to the moral perspective, is the favorable short concept within us. And 3 standard frame of reference. The 3 frame of reference we have is just explore as 3 major frame of reference that help us interpret the core of all matters. First, according to the formula of the rules of life, does anyone feel that based on this formula, we can interpret everything in life? Then 2, the second, If one cannot interpret a using the formula for the rules of life, we use the structure of human being to explain everything. This explains even why we choose our present. According to the structure of human being is based on our total karma that we are born into that family. Therefore, anyone who starts to complain and blame their parents in reality lacks the perspective of relation, belief, and the structure of human being. Because we have that total karma, you must be born into that family. Being born into that family means you must suffer oppression and sorrows from parents and realities. Only then does it align with your total karma. If your merits and virtues were good, you would have been born into the different family. But because your total karma in that way, we are compelled to be born into that family. As soon as we understand this and realize the truth immediately, that is a type of enlightenment about human life. Immediately, we no longer blame family member because we have to bear our total karma as it is. After gaining insight, we change our state through awareness to change our total karma. Three are plus according to the perspective of the triangle of reality, what we know, what we believe, what we understand represent our reality. There is nothing more wondrous than changing what we know, what we believe, what we understand to change the realities of our life. How to apply a three frame of reference in life, what we must done to change a person's reality, to change a person's reality, to change the thought concept, change the electromagnetism within a person by accumulating merits and virtue, and change the mental limits. And then the life will change. As if so someone asks us for advice on changing the life, what advice do you give? First, you must help them understand what create the rules of their life, what creates the rules of a person's life. First, and the first priority for interpretation is according to the scientific perspective, is it created by a very mental images you heard about that thing. The sense of the image within our mind determine our current life. The second thing is that your energetic vibration frequencies determines the material level you current perceive about life. The third thing is the concepts you hold in your mind that determine your life reality. To change the mental lineages to accumulate merits and virtue, to change the energetic vibration frequency. Simultaneously, you must then study to change the thought concept in our mind, and then life will change, receive, and transferring reality with the triangles of reality. When we interact with someone who has a good idea about something we desire, if that person gives us their thought concept about that thing, meaning they let us know how they believe and how they understand it, then we will acquire the same reality as them. And what if you want to transfer a reality to other? We only need to let others know how they know about it, how they believe in it, and how will understand is from them. In other words, we transfer the sub-concepts to them, and they will have the same reality as us. That's all. Thank you for listening. 18 phút. Ok. Rồi, xong rồi. Tí nữa chiều nên đọc nốt bài 4 nữa là sao? Ủa, tí nữa mình chưa xem.